Hey everyone, doing a mic check. Can you all hear me? Let me know if you can. Hopefully my mic is performing okay. Can hear. All right, all right. Let's see here. All right, I'll be on cam in just 1 second. Hey everybody, hope you are well. See, we got a few people piling in. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday night? Is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday. Okay. I am doing another impromptu stream to test a few things on my end, and I had someone reach out asking for an explanation of the process for how we get ships into Starjump Fleet Viewer. So I thought I might revisit that a little bit. I know some of you have probably heard that story a few times, but there's some updates to it, but I can kind of give you a little bit of a recap on that. Won't go super deep into it. This is not what this full stream is going to be about, but you know, we are going to talk about it probably a little bit towards the end. But there was some big things that happened this past week that I thought it'd be fun to just get on and talk about. We had the letter from the chairman. We had the Xeno Threat Overdrive event. We have the F7C Mark II being released. And then we had a pretty cool ISC. As you know, I don't usually like watch everything from start to finish and or just recap the news. That's not really what I do, but sometimes I'll get on and talk about my opinion in relation to that, or watch parts and pieces of things. So I thought we'd do some of that. I did want to let everyone know, though, that I am planning a new Starjump Station episode, kind of like a comeback episode, pretty soon. I'll start talking to the crew about it. I want to see if I can get Starlet, who I see is in chat. Starlet, salute. I want to see if I can get Starlet, VMXEO, and of course our good buddy Ender. And I want to do an episode that focuses on what we think Star Citizen needs to be considered 1.0, right? So if you've been following the news recently, if you've read the letter of the letter from the chairman, you'll know that Star Citizen 1.0, I guess you could consider it the first commercial release, is those words are now starting to percolate. I don't think they mean a lot yet. I don't think you all need to start selling your houses because you lost a bet or anything. But the fact that the words are starting to kind of simmer around the community and the company, I think it could be interesting to talk a little bit about what we think a Star Citizen 1.0 would have to be considered a 1.0. Me and Ender were playing a game the other night and had a brief discussion about it, and it was kind of an interesting discussion, just listing off some of the things we thought it needed to be a viable game, right? So, but that'll be an episode I'd love to get some of you involved in, get some community feedback. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I will switch over here. The Equinox event will be here in Columbus, Ohio on June 1st. That's only 73 days away. And it's a really big Bar Citizen event, LAN party, get together. It's going to be really, really big this year. They're actually holding it at the COSI, which is the Center of Science and Industry Museum here in Columbus. I'm pretty sure some CIG people will be there. I have reached out to Shadowkin and requested for a Starjump booth to be there. He was all about it. He was super excited. We did it a year and a half ago or so, 2 years ago. So I am going to run a Starjump booth there. So if you're in and around the area of Columbus, Ohio, or you're planning on going to Equinox, there'll be a big Starjump booth there. And I'm hoping to have all kinds of cool Starjump swag, some new stuff, challenge coins, patches, posters, all kinds of stuff. New stuff too that no one's seen before, that I'll be giving away for free there. All you gotta do is come by the booth. So You do have to buy tickets if you're planning on going. They do sell out of tickets eventually. And all the events I've gone to for Equinox, they have sold out. So you may, if you're planning on it, you definitely want to try to get your tickets when you can. This is a video from last year's event. You know, you can see various CIG folks in the crowd, Jake and Galactica, and all kinds of good people out here. So, just a whole bunch of amazing community people who attend these. So, and again, lots of involvement by others. JRDF was there the year we were there. Predator Mounts, Hoskahawk contributes a lot. I know there's usually a Tobii eye tracker giveaway or two. You can see here they gave away some cool Starjump Fleet Viewer posters last year, so that'll be cool. But again, yeah, go to Equinox. I'll put the I will put the web address in the chat here. If you're considering going, definitely pick up some tickets. It'd be cool to meet you all in person. So. All right. Okay, let's go back. That being said, I wanted to start off by first off saying hello to everybody. I hope you're all well. Did you have a good weekend? I know Bingo said, was it Bingo? Or no, Sandgroper said, hey, Grim's back 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like fully back to streaming yet because I've just got so much going on in real life right now that is taking priority. But some good news. For Starjump content, at least. I think I said on the last stream that the Banu Merchantman episode of Starjump Shipyard was close to being done because I had the edit done for a while. And I just need to get the audio plugged in. Well, I've done that. The audio is all plugged in. So it's all ready to go. I just need to get it polished up and tighten up a few of the transitions, and then I'll release it. For those that haven't seen the way I released the Starjump Shipyard episodes in the past, the Kraken, Crucible, Endeavor episodes, I always put them out to our Patreon first. They get 24 to 48 hours exclusively with it before I release it to the public. And you're always welcome to go donate to our Patreon. That money goes to creating posters for us to do giveaways. It goes towards other Starjump stuff like rendering, all that type of good stuff. So it always goes back into Starjump projects. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, though, feel free to. I'll post that link down below. You don't have to. None of our stuff is like gated or anything, and never will be. But I do like to put the Shipyard episodes out a little bit earlier than normal on Patreon, and that will be the case with the Banu Merchantman episode. Just like the previous Shipyard episodes, I did a lot of unique renders for it, a lot of unique visuals. So if you're a fan of that ship, if you're a Merchantman fan, you'll want to check that one out. I think it's come out pretty good. And it kind of takes you it's a deep, what the Shipyard episodes are, just so everyone knows, they deep dive a particular ship. They're always concept ships generally, so that you can kind of take all the information that's been released on the ship thus far, going all the way back to its original concept, and try to make an informed decision on if you want to spend real money on it or not. They're pretty unbiased. I don't really give you like any sort of like, hey, you should buy this ship or anything like that. I just give you all the facts, right? And then I have an issues section, usually right before the conclusion, and I point out various things that I think are concerning about the ship that we don't know yet, right? So whatever the issues are. So I give you the pros, I give you the cons, and I let you decide on if you think the ship is right for you. But again, I only speak to the facts. I really don't speculate at all in these videos, and that's kind of the point of them. So. I see Triple Helix in chat. Triple, hope you're well, dude. Which is a good time for me to mention. We are partnered with Predator Mounts. You can go to predatormounts.com, use Starjump code, get 5% off. Triple Helix in chat, our good friend over there, doing amazing work. We're also partnered with Icon City. You can go to iconcity.uk and use the Starjump code for 10% off. Icon packs for your stream deck and all that kind of good stuff. So, yes, I'm excited to get Starjump Shipyard back moving. again. Like I said, the Banu Merchantman is an episode that's been requested by a few people. I originally wasn't going to do it. I was holding off. Since the ship has been sort of paused in its development, I decided it would be good to go ahead and do the episode since it'll probably be paused for a while. I know we have an Alien Week coming up in the middle of the year. People will probably be interested in trying to pick it up. So I figured, hey, this is a good time and to get that information out. The Revengex. No, this is not Star Atlas. This I'm generally talking about Star Citizen. But you could pretend like it's any game you want. Starfart, Starfield, Star Atlas. Could be whatever you want. VG says, does early access to Starjump Shipyard episodes require a minimum Patreon level? It used to, but the way I might do it, VG, moving forward is that people that do pay on the Patreon, which I think the minimum's like $2, you'll get it like 2 days in advance, and then all the free members will get it like 1 day in advance, something like that. So, or maybe I'll change it. Maybe the paying members get it 2 days, or 3 days early, and the free members get it a day early or something, just to give the people that are paying a little bit extra there. So yes, that's pretty much it. Again, I'm excited to get a Shipyard episode out. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. I really wanted to get the Shipyard episodes rolling again. People do seem to like them. I was a little bummed that the Anvil Crucible episode did not do better from a views standpoint, but a lot of people have pointed out to me that it's kind of a niche ship, and that's probably the issue there. The funny thing is, I don't think the Crucible is a niche ship technically. It's the only large capital repair or only large repair ship slated to come into the game, and repair will be a very critical thing. So I don't look at that as very niche personally, but the Anvil is kind of an old design, and I could understand why people were a little split on it. So hopefully the Banu Merchantman one does better. I have a feeling it will. So Triple says, what's the next ship on Shipyards? The next ship is the Banu Merchantman. That's one's coming out. I'm aiming to get the Banu Merchantman episode out end of this week. It's mostly done. I'm just doing some QC checks on it. The last few Shipyard episodes I released, I had errors in them, and they really screwed things up. So I really want to release this episode with no misspells and no anything like that. So I'm doing multiple quality checks on it. Yeah, VMXEO slides in the chat. VM, I was just telling everybody I want to get a Starjump Station episode live stream going before too long, and I want us all the Starjump members, Ender, VMXEO, Starlight, I want us all to discuss what we think a Star Citizen 1.0 needs to have to be considered a viable, public facing product, like a real game. And again, I for one don't think it needs everything on the list, but figuring out what the game needs to have in place to a very polished state for it to be considered kind of a good version 1, since the version 1 thing is starting to kind of percolate in the verse. Yes, Bingo. So Bingo mentions and VG both mention stability and shard management. So there was a really interesting post today. I don't have it up to where I can share it. Stand by. Where is it? Stand by. I had it up. Yes, there was... Well, shit, do I have it? Stand by, people. Yes, so they put out a message today saying that they are going to be doing a tech preview server meshing test for select waves of testers. So it'll be interesting to see. It sounds like it's not just Evocati, starting this Friday and running through the weekend. This will be focused solely on the Stanton system with multiple servers sharing the load. We'll be testing multiple configurations throughout the weekend with more servers per shard than we have ever tested before, increasing the number of players per shard to test the system. This is amazing. I'm really excited for it. Again, they are turning the knobs on server meshing. They're trying to figure out what is the magic formula to get the experience and the player counts to where we all want them. So am I a little blurry? I feel like I am. Oh well. So that's exciting. Mud Dog, salute to you. I hope you're well, buddy. So yes, that is exciting. Again, CIG is making moves. They're trying to do something here. Will it be successful? Fingers crossed. I think we're all in agreement. We want that to be the case. We'll just have to see if that's how it all if everything falls into place. Essentially, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces, and a lot of them are pretty complicated. You know what I mean? We still haven't really seen, for example, in addition to server meshing, we haven't seen how missions will be able to carry on through server, through the jump gates and stuff. We haven't seen, how existing gameplay systems and future gameplay systems like resource management or cargo trading and all that will work across the server meshing tech so far. So we haven't seen any of that yet. It's just sort of been cold jumps from one system to a new system. So again, we got a long way to go, but those wheels are turning, and I think that is that's exciting. That's exciting. Okay, so let's move over. I'm going to switch us over to the first thing I wanted to talk about, which was the letter from the chairman. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I was going to kind of pull certain sections out, or if you all have certain things you want to talk about from the letter of from the chairman. But essentially, CR goes through the successes of the year with the replication layer split, persistent entity streaming, all that good stuff, and and just kind of the progress they made throughout 2023. And it actually, when you read through it, was much more than I thought, right? So included salvage, a soul salvage mechanic, which included hull stripping, structural and component, and minor forms of repair, right? They also attach missions to that. They brought in physicalized cargo, or at least a tier 0 implementation of it with the long-awaited hull C. Again, I think the hull C just in and of itself was a miracle for that thing to make it finally into the verse. And then just they talk about other milestones here, right? But scrolling down, they sort of talk about the year that is coming, right? And they make, obviously, the mention of Squadron 42. They talk about how it's moving from a feature complete to a content complete standpoint. Obviously, they've made big references to next year's CitizenCon being one we don't want to miss. I am not a betting man, but if I had to bet, I would think that Star Citizen or that Squadron 42 will get either a release at the end of the year, or at the very least a release date or some sort of targeted quarter that it will release. I think we'll know sooner rather than later, and here's where I'm going with this. I would think. So I work in marketing, for those who don't know. I work in the film and television industry. And while I used to work on films and TV shows, I now work more on the commercial broadcast side of things. So I deal a lot with marketing stuff. And knowing marketing, if they're planning on releasing a Squadron 42 to the public at the end of this year, we need to see heavy public-facing promotions and marketing campaigns starting as soon as Invictus. We need to have 6 months of lead time before the release of that game to build hype, sell pre-orders, get the word out, set up distribution, all that kind of good stuff. And then there's other things too, like getting their new launcher, all that ready, right? The storefront, everything. Because they're going to have to build the storefront into the launcher as well, because I'm sure there's going to be microtransactions attached and other things. So if Squadron 42 is coming out later this year, they've got a ton of work to do. And I would say that by Invictus, if we're not seeing Squadron 42 marketing speak, being put out there, if we're not seeing some sort of pre-order promotional campaign, which includes a standard edition, a premium edition, and then the mega ultra, Squadron 777, whatever edition, then I don't think we're going to have a released Squadron 42 this year. But what we still could get is a release date later this year during CitizenCon. And maybe that release date is 3 months out, 5 months out, and then they start the promotional campaign at CitizenCon, move forward with it, leading us into, again, pre-orders, promotional campaigns, the whole deal. Because again, remember, you're going to see Squadron 42 commercials when you go to Facebook, when you go to Twitter. They're going to have all kinds of promotional content cuts to put out there. There's no way they're spending all this time and effort, 10 years worth of development on a game, and not have one of the biggest marketing campaigns ever devised, right? I fully expect that there's going to be some sort of Hollywood, Los Angeles red carpet extravaganza where a lot of the stars show up that are in the game. Again, they're going to go all out. They're definitely not going to drop the ball at the very end when it comes to marketing, because if CIG is good at anything, it is marketing. Bingo says a box set with a JDRF Gladius would sell for sure. Oh yeah, I mean that'd be absolutely genius. It would sell like hotcakes. Or if they, how they sold with Starfield, they had the watch this year. Could you imagine some sort of watch thing that is like Moby-Glass? I mean, again, there's a lot of cool stuff they could do. How big they'll go with it, I don't know. But I would also expect partnerships, promotional partnerships. They'll probably do one with Toby. They'll probably do one with, who else? I'm sure it wouldn't shock me if they've got, promotional campaigns for Squadron with other companies. So again, if we don't see that stuff start by Invictus, I don't think it'll release this year. We'll probably just get a date at the end of the year, but we'll see how that plays out. They do talk about a little bit here. They talk about, and we talked about this on the last stream, they talk about the first Jumpgate test that was done in Ivacati, and they kind of celebrated that with naming the first player to do a jump from Stanton to Pyro in Ivacati. I think his name was Mr. Trash, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Trash, which is a great name to go down in infamy. And big salute to Mr. Trash for doing a great job being a tester, getting there, doing his thing. The only thing I would say is that I would love for CIG to really hold those special world first kind of things for when something goes to the live environment. Same way that WoW does it, where there's world first for taking down raids and stuff. They should sort of keep those world first for the live environment, sort of reserve those for where everyone has a chance to do them. I think would be wise in the future. So they talk a little bit about that. They talk about the successes there with server meshing. That then goes into an interview with Benoit, where he talks more about server meshing and their plans going forward. He even mentions talking about testing things like assigning multiple shards per system. So Stanton can be served by multiple shards. Well, we're already seeing that populate now in the messages for the this preview tech build server they're going to do. So we may be testing that as soon as this weekend, right? Which is amazing. Let's see here. What else do we have? This is where they start to talk about some interesting thing here. They talk about as they start to move forward with the release of Star Citizen Alpha 4. Well, let's back up. Obviously, this year is going to be a big year for Star Citizen, right? We have a lot of systems coming in finally from Squadron 42. A lot of the Squadron 42 developers have moved over into Star Citizen. Alpha 3.23 is going to be bringing the first bit of that stuff online. We've all seen the list of stuff coming with 323, personal hangars, star map, mini maps, new FPS stuff, EVA tier 2, all kinds of stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. But what they start bringing up here, and this part of the letter from the chairman is the release of Pyro and Star Citizen 4.0. What's interesting here is I look at this as sort of being the stepping stone to version 1.0. Now, I saw some discussion saying that there would be a 4.0 cycle and then Star Citizen 1.0. That could be the case. However, remember, we've been on the 3.0 patch cycle for a long time. We're on patch 3.23 here. So there's no telling how long the 4.0 patch cycle will last. But, you know, if I had to guess, I think we'll be in the 4.0 patch cycle for 2 to 3 years, personally. And then if all goes well, then we would probably be looking at the 5.0 patch cycle as being Star Citizen 1.0, right? But even before we get to 1.0, we've got to go into a beta period, right? How CIG will handle that will also be interesting because, again, remember, we're alpha right now. We're full alpha. Artemis says, what are your predictions for the next straight to flyable ship at Invictus? Straight to flyable. That's a good question, Artemis. I'm going to pull that question, and we'll get to that as soon as we get through this letter from the chairman. I'm going to pull that aside. Stand by. Hold that question aside, Artemis. We're definitely going to come back to that. But again, yeah, talking about Pyro, the Star Citizen Alpha 4.0, I think the journey to 4.0 has taken a lot longer than they originally anticipated. And I think it's all been held up by server meshing. We know that. That's not really a big mystery. But at the same time, I think that's going to benefit us a bit because I actually think that by the time 4.0 does come online, Pyro is going to be a much more developed system than what we would have got, which would have been a little bit of a letdown. I also, from what I've heard, and you can take this with a grain of salt. Oh, we have a big raid coming in. The Kraken just flew overhead. Who is it? Oh, it's Zero State. Hey, Zero, hope you are well, dude. Let me switch back over to the full screen. Zero, I hope you're well, man. Salute to you. How have you been? I popped in your stream the other day, said hello. I don't know if you saw it. You may have missed it. I wasn't able to stay for very long. But everyone, if you don't know Zero, he's how can you not know him? Awesome dude. We had an interview with him on Sonoda's show, I believe it was. Just awesome dude. Been a great supporter of Starjump, and we really appreciate him. Zero, I hope you had a great stream. Hopefully we can talk soon. Have you been enjoying the new Mark II, the F7C Mark II? Hopefully you have. Let me switch over. For those that don't know, we do have the Mark II Hornet, the F7C Mark II Hornet over in Starjump Fleet Viewer. If you have not ever been over there, definitely head over there. I will put the link here. But thank you so much for that, Zero. I really appreciate it. That was a huge raid. Big, giant, double salute to you. I love that you sent the Kraken overhead. For those that don't follow me, please follow the channel. I really appreciate it. Kyler86 from Zero States Community just says, it just updated my fleet viewer. Awesome. We are currently fixing. So right now there's an issue where if you own the F7C Mark II, it's not transferring from Hangar Link into Fleet Viewer when you do that load your ships from your hangar feature. But the Jedi Knight Starlet, who is in chat, is currently fixing that. She's currently fixing that. So really appreciate it. Yeah, Keller, I did too, but it's definitely top of our list. So we are on top of that. So thank you so much for your patience, and we'll make sure it's working here very soon. Oh, we have a follow from Hash, sending the Javelin over. Thank you, Hash. We believe I'm just about to talk, say what Keller's saying. I'm reading and talking at the same time, folks, and I should never do that. Thank you very much, Hash. I appreciate the follow. And thank you, Keller. I believe in myself as well. It takes a lot of work to get these ships in Fleet Viewer. This one here, I want to shout out to VMXEO, who is also in chat. VM, salute to you. VM got the F7C Hornets done and rendered so that we could put them in Fleet Viewer in record time. So thank you, VM. Thank you for the follow, Fred Honeybun. Appreciate that. And Kaler just subscribed. Thank you, Kaler. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Really appreciate it. Yes, let me speak to something real quick before we get back to the letter from the chairman. Zero, one more time, dude. Thank you so much. Double salute. You're an absolute legend in the Star Citizen community. You do great content. You also keep things positive. You keep a positive vibe with the people you interact with and the people you surround yourself with. You've always been super generous to Starjump, even when we were, half of the people in our community that we have now. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Kaler86 just gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Giant salute. We have the Kraken flying over a few times here, indicating that we have some subscriptions. We've had the Javelin flying overhead, indicating some follows. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Flight Not, thank you for that follow. I'll explain real quick here how the ships for Fleet Viewer work. Before we get back to the letter of the chairman, we were going to wait on this, but might as well talk about it for a second. If it's a flight-ready ship, that runs through VMXEO and the entire StarFab team with their StarFab application. Essentially what that means is really smart people create a really smart application that's able to do really amazing things. It's way over my head, but the StarFab team, especially VMXEO, who again is in chat, he is able to export all the flight-ready ships and get them like game engine accurate. He then sends those renders to me. I do what's called a conform on them, where I crop them and get them sort of sized correctly. And then I package those up and send them over to Starlet, who's also in chat. Starlet will then take those and put them into Fleet Viewer and make sure everything is working properly. Now, that's for a flight-ready ship. Let's talk about a concept ship, which is a different process. And we can talk about this ship here just because this one got a bit of an update. In the case of a concept ship, there are no existing models out there with textures already on them. Okay, that just doesn't exist. Killer gifting another tier 1 sub. I appreciate that, Killer. He's on fire right now. Christopher, that's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. But with a concept ship, there's a much different process. Those models... So the hollow models exist. They're out there. They're on the RSI website. You can actually download them. It's not hard to do. You can download them in just a few minutes. Just to make Zero mad. I don't think Zero can get mad. He can't get mad, can he? He's too much of a nice guy. So what I have to do is I have to take the hollow model, which has no textures on it, no lighting, no nothing, and then I have to bring it into my pipeline and fully texture it as accurately as possible to the concept art of the concept ship. Get it lit, get it all to all the detailing in there. And sometimes the hollow ships do not have the appropriate amount of detail, so that has to be sort of added in. We had a version of the Pioneer in Fleet Viewer, and I had to kind of make up a little bit more of its stylistic attributes than I would like to. So recently, about 2 weeks ago, I decided to make the Pioneer a lot more accurate. So I did a full revision pass on it. This is the new Pioneer in Fleet Viewer. It is much more accurate now to the original concept art for the Pioneer that CIG put out. We also did other updates. This is one of my favorite ones for those of you Kraken fans. We did an update on the Drake Kraken. Oh, thank you for the follow, Herb Nation. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big salute to you. And thank you for all the follows, everyone. I appreciate the support. This here is our new Drake Kraken. We also have a new privateer. Again, big salute to VMXEO in chat for exporting the Kraken through StarFab and making that look as sharp as it does. Thank you for that follow, God Gaming 420. Appreciate you. Yeah, Dark. I think the new Kraken model looks amazing. This one is the actual model from the cinematic, so it definitely looks good. Skiller says, how's our Polaris looking though? I want it in the verse so bad. Well, the Polaris is coming along, and Fleet Viewer, this is its current state, which is as far as we can get it until we have more detailed holo models or art from CIG. We probably won't do a revision pass on the Polaris until the ship goes flight ready, and we just render it out from the game files using StarFab. So it'll probably stay in this state right here, which I think is pretty accurate. They have made some significant changes to this. However, though, and even just the latest gray box pass they did, the bridge is much bigger now. These turrets have actually shrunk back down a little bit, I think, to their size 4, size 5 metrics. So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Pero, I mean, we can expect the Polaris is going to have a huge marketing build up to it. They may tie it to Pyro. They also could tie it to CitizenCon and resource management. There's a lot of ways they could do this, but expect a big marketing push for this ship. They're also going to want to sell a lot of these. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm thinking Q3 as well. All right, so we're going to switch back over to Letter Chairman. We'll go back to Fleet Viewer in a minute. But yes, the Fleet Viewer process it's pretty complicated. On the concept ship side, there's a lot of times different techniques I have to employ to get the ship looking good enough to stand up against the game ready models, like the flight ready models. It takes a lot of work to get them to that level. So yeah, let's see here. So yes, CR talks about Squadron hitting content complete and feature complete milestones, and talks about the Star Citizen 4.0 Pyro milestone coming up later this year. Then he moves into what was sort of the biggest bit of news from this whole thing, which is talking about how to get Star Citizen into an actual shippable product, right? A Star Citizen 1.0, an actual MMO that is public facing, with, no longer alpha, no longer beta, actually released. So they kind of go into that, and they talk about having a plan for that, an internal roadmap. I hope that roadmap is shared with us at some point. I think it will be. They may mention that, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But their goal, I think, is to use this roadmap that will probably pick up right after 4.0 releases. I'm thinking Q3 this year. And then once 4.0 is released, then we'll start the roadmap to version 1.0. I'm really excited about this. I actually am okay, even if they want to bring down the progress tracker and change it to more of a version 1.0 tracker. I want them to start thinking about this game not as the alpha game we've all been playing, but I want them to think about this as the shippable product it needs to be, right? Matt Carey, salute to you. Hope you're well. Hope you are well. So I'm just glad CIG is now thinking about that. This 1.0 could still be 5 years away. We really don't know. And I think it would be silly to speculate at this time. I would like to say it's 2 years away, but I think that'd be pretty foolish. So we'll see what ends up happening over the next 2 years as CIG starts putting more and more resources into Star Citizen now that Squadron is shipping. And that will be new for us. We have never seen all these developers focused on Star Citizen, so we don't really know what the new pace will be. It's also an important thing to remember that Rich Tyra right here is now the senior game director for Star Citizen, and that's a new job there. Todd Pappy has now left, which they do address. We haven't seen the PU environment, the Star Citizen product, led by Rich in this way before, and that may drive progress unlike anything we've ever seen before. And I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? A lot of people, I think, would just say, oh, it's going to be more of the same. The game's 20 years away. But I think with these personnel changes, with these planning changes, with Squadron going shippable, hopefully within the next 12 to 16 months, things are changing. Physical things are changing. More hands are going to be on Star Citizen, and it'll be interesting to see what the end result is. That is it going to blow up into a chaotic mess, which can sometimes happen when more developers or more people are added to a project. A lot of times people say, oh, just hire more ship, hire more people for the ship team. Well, I can tell you as someone who's managed big teams before that hiring more people does not always make it easier. Sometimes it can create a giant mess. So it'll be interesting to see if all these people coming over create a bad situation, or if they create a great situation and just Star Citizen speeds along. We have to see how that plays out. Oops, sorry. We have to see how that plays out. Again, they sort of talk about that. They do talk a little bit about the previous stuff, like bringing on Turbulent. They talk about CR now moving into Austin. I believe he's relocated to Austin. So it was a great letter from the chairman. It covered a lot of stuff. And one really nice thing about this letter from the chairman versus past ones is we're already seeing the tangible benefits from this. So again, one of the major things they talked about in here is Benoit talking about doing multiple shards making up a single system. So multiple shards controlling Stanton. Well, we just heard today that they're going to be running that test as soon as Friday on the Tech Preview channel, right? So not even just Evocati based. We've already had Jumpgate testing. I guess I shouldn't call them jump gates anymore. I don't know if the gates are in the game, but we're seeing this progress. 323 is bringing on the Squadron 42 features. So for right now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think 2024 is shaping up so far to be a really, really exciting year. So also just in the realm of spaceships, right? From CitizenCon, just hearing how John Crew and his team are now switching to a kind of family of ships development ethos when tackling bigger ships is really exciting to me too. For all those people wondering how they were going to get through the backlog, it's really cool to see though that they're working on the Polaris now, and the parts and pieces from that will carry over into the Galaxy, carry over into the Perseus, possibly the Arastra. We will have to see, but it just seems like a lot of the teams within CIG are starting to change their approach and pipeline, and let's sort of doing revisions on their own pipelines, and hopefully we see the benefits of that, right? We kind of had a drought the last few years. I mean, some major things came into the game, but there was some long lulls in Star Citizen's gameplay for a while, and I think it's about time that changes. So, okay. Next thing that happened was this ship. We mentioned it here just a minute ago that it came to Starjump Fleet Viewer already. I think we had it in there day one. But obviously the Anvil Hornet, the F7C Mark II Hornet was released. You could buy it outright. Backers could buy it outright. There is a big world event going on. It's an extension of Xeno Threat called Xeno Threat Overdrive. You were probably seeing that over on Zero's channel a lot over the past week, I'm sure, as he was doing the Overdrive event. And by working through that and a series of other events that are upcoming, you will be able to get a token that allows you to switch your F7C to an F7A. Right, and I'm going to see if I can pull up. Do I have that? Yes, I do. Let me bring this up. I'll bring this up here. Also, thank you to Starlet who sent me this link. But this kind of here, this thing here kind of talks about the Xeno Threat Overdrive event. We just did phase 1 right here, which was the 5 stages FPS battles. That's going down to the bunkers, retrieving the key, doing the upload, all that kind of good stuff. That will lead into phase 2, probably in a week or two. Phase 2 will be 3 stages, space battles. Think MRT, HRT type bounties. You're going to destroy those ships in space, ship to ship space combat situation. You'll then EVA out of your ship, collect some sort of key from the wreckage, and then you will then take that key to a drop-off point. I think there's 3 stages of that, with the 3rd stage being a hammerhead. So looks like it's gonna ramp up in difficulty. By the time you get to that hammerhead, you're gonna want to be with a group. I do think this phase is sort of an open server mission, so anyone can grab it, and when you go there, it'll be probably a bigger battle. So think Xeno threat. We'll see how that plays out. Phase 3 will be 5 stages, space battles as well. Incursions, big space battle versus 4 hammerheads and about 20 other ships. So this will be kind of a big open combat scenario. Seems to be server wide and is not shareable. So again, everyone will be able to accept this and just move out there on your own. There'll be other ships flying around, of course. You'll go to the location, kill all the ships. And if the server is very populated and many others outside your group competing to complete this phase, don't worry. It's good. So again, as long as you kill one ship, you'll complete that space battle. Phase 4 is 3 stages, more space battles. At the comm links, you'll go to the comm link, kill 3 ships, get out of your ship, EVA over to the comm link, and enter. Oh, thank you, Grizz, for the follow. Appreciate that. You just sent the javelin overhead. You'll go into the comm link, shoot the mines that are laid all over to clear a path to the computer, start the comm link recovery. You won't need a Tiger Claw or anything like that, and then you head back to your ship. Hostile ships will spawn in waves. Prioritize killing the Vanguard ships as they disrupt your comm link recovery, then kill the rest of the ships. So, again, I'll be really interested to see in how big of a group you can do this with. I'm hoping you can do this with a pretty sizable group and all get credit for it. Phase 5. This is 1 stage, single FPS battle. It's going to take place at SPK, Security Post Korea. You're going to go to SPK, stop the hacking device in the central computer room. You will then see a marker to a Tiger Claw close by, grab it, enter it into the central computer. This will start an upload process again. Then you're just going to get waves and waves of enemies attacking you, FPS style. You're going to take them down. The Kitty Cartel, thank you for that follow, sending the javelin overhead. And then, yes, do that, complete the upload, and boom, you've completed phase 5. Phase 6 will be, again, 1 stage, FPS and package delivery. There'll be 3 packages that need to be picked up and delivered to a location. You go to a rec site with some XT, some Xenothreat NPCs. You kill the NPCs, pick up the 3 packages, take them to a drop-off location. Event complete. That should complete your entire run for the F7A Mark II token. It'll be interesting to see how these ramp up in difficulty. Hopefully it's not too crazy for those of us that are not master combat pilots. I'm okay doing ship-to-ship combat, but I'm okay, and I just play with keyboard and mouse right now. I'm waiting on my rails from Predator mounts. Once I get my rails in, I'll probably remount my sticks at that time and then get used to using that again and hopefully get better. F7A, the F7C Mark II, though, really cool. This is a ship, for those that know me, that I have been waiting on. I've been more excited for this than the F8. Now that I've got it in my hands, though, actually I'm enjoying my F8 a lot more. But really cool ship. I love that they finally released it. I'm glad. So far, this event seems to be ticking off all the boxes for me. It's got a little bit of everything, as I just read off. A little bit of package delivery, a little bit of FPS combat, a little bit of ship combat, a little bit of EVA. It's got a little bit of everything. My biggest concern with it is just hoping that all 6 phases can go pretty smoothly. Let's see. Dustin Lee, Bladesmith. Hello, kind sir. I heard there's a BMM video. Who is Rick James? Thank you for that follow. Appreciate you. I used to work for the Chappelle Show, so I got to work on the Rick James skit, which was really funny. Hello, kind sir. I heard there's a BMM video coming soon. It is one coming late this week. If you haven't, actually, let me pull that up. I am releasing a Starjump Shipyard episode on the BMM that will come out later this week. I have an entire series of Shipyard videos on our YouTube channel, which you can check out the BMM probably later this week. It will go to Patreon members first, so if you're a Patreon member, it will, I'm probably going to do like 2 days early access for the Patreon members, and then it will go to everyone else on the YouTube. But there's our Patreon if you decide you want to support in that way. We really appreciate it. So yes, BMM video coming. I think it turned out really well. I'm pretty happy with it, so I think you'll enjoy it. But yes, there's the F7. Now, a lot of people don't know that. Did we put? Let me look at something real quick here. I can't remember if we. So we did actually. I'm going to. We added both the F7C and the F7A Mark II into Fleet Viewer. So we went ahead and added it in, even though no one can own it yet. But here it is, the F7A Mark II Hornet. This is what you will get at the end of your token run through all the 6 events, which will probably, all 6 phases of the Overdrive event, which will probably culminate at Invictus. But this is the upgrade here. You see it's got the nose turrets, the gimbal turret, or the top turret, and the wing mounts. So I'm assuming there may be other benefits here as well. Let's see here. It had some really cool art for this. This will be one of those ships. This will be one of those ships that people are going to say, man, I missed out on the F7A Overdrive event. Is there any way to do that? I personally hope CIG keeps it kind of limited to this event, and maybe they can run this event once a year during Invictus. I think that would be really cool. So you still have a chance to get it the following year or the following year if you miss out, but it still keeps it pretty limited as well. So I personally hope the Overdrive event is something that just comes back every Invictus. I think that'd be really fun. And maybe if you've already got the F7A, but you complete the following year's Overdrive event, then maybe you get a special skin that year that you can only get through the event, right? Some sort of cool UEE Navy paint job. So yeah, but there it is. The ship was, the ship was 160 for the concierge package, War Bond, which had the F7C Mark II and the iron scale paint, which you have to get the iron scale paint. It's black and bronze or black and gold. I mean, you just have to, right? $160. I was pretty happy with the price. Thought they did a great job. I really love the blue and white paint that they came out with for this ship as well. You can see it here. I would love if they would release more Anvil ships with that paint job, to be honest with you. I think that should be the new Anvil default paint job. I'd love that paint job on a Carrack or something like that. I could see the Liberator having that paint job. That would be really cool. It was just a really nice shade, and it stood out from other manufacturers. So personally, I don't know if anyone from CIG is watching this right now. Probably not. But if you are, this paint scheme, this livery scheme should be like the new Anvil standard. I think that'd be really cool. Mud Dog, I hope they have a blue and gold paint job for this at Invictus. It'll sell like hotcakes. It'll be amazing. Blue Fork, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So many of you all have hit the follow button. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I may need to give out a poster soon. Sometimes I give out posters for a lot of follows coming in, and I may need to do that. Christoph Ether, hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for the follow, sending that javelin overhead. Let's see here. Turkin says baby blue for a fighter. Well, it's not unheard of, Turkin. I mean, there are other air forces in the world, not the U.S., but other air forces in the world that do use shades of kind of light blue for fighters. Now that's more for blending into the sky, I guess. But I don't know. I think it could work. I mean, I guess you could ask that question for anything, like why is Crusader white and blue? You know what I mean? Theirs is a darker blue, but I think it's just, I don't know. I just think it could be a good brand color for Anvil. Iran did it for a year, yeah. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that it's not unprecedented. So, all right. That leads over to the Overdrive event. Again, we went through all the phases. Obviously, CIG put a lot of planning into this. I do wish they were giving out a UEE flight suit with this. I think that would be really cool if that was one of the prizes, especially if you didn't have if you didn't buy the the F7C Mark II. but still compete in the event. Maybe you get the UEE flight suit. I think that was a missed opportunity by CIG. But again, they just talk about the initiative here, the prizes, and or sorry, the rewards, and all that good stuff. And then the current mission, which is Overdrive Initiative Intel Raid. That's that Phase 1, Mission 1. We'll get more of those missions soon. I'm not sure what cadence they'll be on. I think every two weeks maybe is what I'm thinking. Triple says, check the email. Oh my goodness. Triple has sent my Apex Predator rail system to me. I got a tracking number here. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to have to do a bit of a breakdown and review of this because I've been really excited to get my rails from Predator mounts. So yes, really excited about that. Triple, thank you, buddy. Everyone, if you are into mounts, awesome stuff at predatormounts.com. Go there, use a Starjump code. I'm sure Zero might have a code. I don't even know. As he just tuned your carriages tonight. Okay, awesome, cool. There you go. Thank you so much, Triple. I appreciate you. And then, oh yeah, everyone from Zero that have hung around, thank you for hanging around. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. They can be tuned like a guitar. I love it. What else happened this week? Oh yeah, there was the Inside Star Citizen on the character creator, which was really cool. I'm really excited about this. Hopefully you are as well. Obviously, beards, I'm going to love it. I also, I have a shaved head for those that people don't know. Well, I mean, my hair started leaving me, but I've been shaving my head for a long time now, probably a decade, 10 years or so. And I wouldn't go back. I like having a shaved head. I don't have to worry about any hair or anything like that. Don't have to worry about when the wind blows, but my beard is my only hair. It's the only thing I have to be creative with. So I'm very excited for the beards and stuff and the additional options coming in the new character creator. I'm really excited. I love that we're going to be able to save those character builds. That's really cool. So this week's ISC is going to be on the personal hangars, which is my other huge thing I'm waiting for. I couldn't be more excited about the personal hangars. So this week's ISC is going to be unreal. So right now, with all the stuff coming to 323, the ISCs are just on point. And I love how the Star Citizen Lives are doing questions that are follow-ups from the previous week's ISC. They should keep doing that, actually. It's really, really smart to do that. Gives a bit of a path for the community to interact with some of the ISCs we're seeing. Triple says, oh, I actually do have a question, Starjump, that you actually made me aware of a while back. Have you seen the Carrack lately, and are those 3 pods actually on there now? Are you referring to the modular pods? Is that what you're referring to? The cargo pods? Let me clear everything here. Let's bring up the Carrack. Yes, those that you showed me a while back. Yes. So those that don't know, the Carrack is a modular ship. For those that didn't know that, you can see those modules here. There's 1, 2, 3. They're underslung. There is a pass-through. A lot of people don't know that those are modular pods that we're supposed to be able to do something with. Now, CIG has been extremely quiet on that, but I can kind of show you how they work. They've always been there, actually, Triple. The ship team built them in. They totally are there. They have the airlocks. They are able to come down. There's already doors rigged on them. All that work is done. They just don't... they just didn't have modularity working yet, so you couldn't switch them in and out or do anything, or even drop them down until they're able to be dropped down. Well, they weren't going to be able to be dropped down until modularity was in. Now that modularity's in, supposedly that stuff's going to be able to work. We don't know if they totally drop down and out of the ship, or if they drop down some for the doors to open. But I can kind of give you an idea. So I actually opened up the game model and took and inspected those pods, and I can kind of show you. I'm going to switch this over here. Oops, standby. Now this is a very rudimentary render. There's nothing pretty about this, but this gives you an idea of how those pods work. So you can see the pods here, they drop down. They have doors on them, just like you see here. They're big enough to carry the ballista. So they're pretty big. You could obviously have them, they could be like little medical clinics. They could be drop pods for soldiers. They could carry vehicles, cargo. There's a lot of stuff they could do with this. But they have yet to talk about these modular pods and what they're actually going to be used for, or how that drop down functionality is going to work. I personally hope you're going to be able to drop these. I personally hope that one of the modular options for these is some sort of like little medical clinic that you can drop off, or maybe one can be some sort of power supply or whatever, so that when you are out exploring with the Carrack, let's say you find a location that would be great for a future base, and let's say you're going to start doing building there, you can maybe drop down a temporary medical clinic that is good to keep you and your workers happy and healthy while you wait to build your full-on medical wing of your base, right? I don't know. I could see some cool stuff there. But a lot of people have wondered how those modular pods drop down. It's essentially like this. This is what the doors look like as well. Kragon, not necessarily, because the current walkways that are in there, those are the current walkways are in there are for the cargo variant of these pods, which is I think what we're carrying. But that's not to say that in a different modular version, those walkways could be different, right? So they could go up a little bit. There's a little bit of room. They could it just depends. And maybe they won't fit a ballista because of the height. Actually, not sure. I haven't checked that against the walkway. But at the very least, you'd be able to carry Cyclones and Ursas. That wouldn't be a problem at all because the walkways are above that that limited height window. But you're right. They may not be able to carry a ballista from a height standpoint. Possibly a Nova as well. I'd have to look at that. I don't know. I've never done that metric test. But again, it may not even be vehicle based. I just use that as an example. It could be just modular rooms. So maybe one's a cargo, maybe one is some sort of medical thing, maybe one's who knows? Sky's the limit. Maybe one is more of a refinery thing. Maybe one is some sort of drone, or maybe one's some sort of like repair trailer that can be dropped down at a base where you can do repairs there before you build like a full-on garage. Again, we haven't heard much about the Carrack's modularity, although it's supposed to have some. Personally, what I see them doing is I just see these being cargo pods that aren't really modular. They're just cargo pods that can be dropped planet side, essentially. That's what I see ultimately happening with the Carrack. The Carrack has already got a lot of functionality. I don't know if it necessarily has to be modular. But you could have, like VG saying, you could definitely have one of these pods have some cargo in it, a PTV or an STV, something like that, maybe a Cyclone, just some small stuff, and you're cooking with gas. Science module, exactly, Brash. Cool. All right, let's see here. Anyone else got questions about Fleet Viewer, about anything? I'll bring up the F7s again. I think VMXEO did just an amazing job on these. Hopefully you're all enjoying the Overdrive event. Let's see here. Stand by. All right, let's see here. Okay. So Starlet is letting me know that she thinks the F7C Hornet Mark II is working now in Hangar Link, meaning when you load your ships via Hangar Link, it will bring them over into Fleet Viewer. That is something we can try right now. Let's see if this works. I'm going to retrieve all my stuff here. You're going to all see my hangar. There's way too much there. You're getting a bit of an inside peek here. Oh gosh, lots of pages. While that's loading, let's see here. Feathers asked how ship cutaways are coming. Oh yeah, I got to do a hard refresh. Thank you, Starlet. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the ship cutaways for Fleet Viewer. We're wanting to do a few. I know we want to do the Aegis Idris. It is something we're working on. We have a lot of good renders for it now, but we do want to get a few more angles in to sort of complete it all out. I will... where is it? I will show you a preview, though, of what those look like in case you were curious. We're going to have cutaways like this that will show the internals of the ship. Here's another one. Again, you'll be able to zoom into these, see the full cutaway. I want to send a big shout out to VMXEO, also in chat, for putting the absolutely crazy amount of work into these cutaways. We hope to get these into Fleet Viewer soon, but they do require a bit of work. Again, remember, we don't get paid for this. We do it out of, a desire to get this stuff out to the community and kind of have to fit it into our own time. Feathers says, will it be just for the Idris? It will be just for the Idris at first. I was talking with VMXEO, though, and I think in the future, it would be cool to do it for large ships over a certain size. Smile, thank you for that follow. Thank you for sending the Javelin overhead. You're a legend. I appreciate it. So I think it would be for larger ships, maybe 125 meters plus, right? Stuff where it makes sense to have cutaways. I know it would be great to have cutaways for every ship. It's just not doable unless I got so many Patreon donations rolling in that I could pay VMXEO a full-time salary. He does need to work and have a job. So I think we'll probably limit it to just bigger ships that make sense to have sort of maps in here. We'll probably investigate the mini-map stuff too. Maybe we can integrate some of that into Fleet Viewer. I don't know. That's not a promise or anything, but I'm sure it's something we'll look into. But I could see having the Idris, the Kraken, the Javelin, big ships like that, I think would make sense to have cutaways. Maybe the Polaris, I could see being one for sure. Ships maybe 120, 140 and up. So... but we'll also do, we're going to do top downs, for example, where you get, you'll get the different layouts of all of each deck. So it'll go up. So you'll be able to choose deck A, deck B, deck C, going all the way down. So that is something we're working on. It's not in Fleet Viewer yet, but it is coming. Again, if you're excited about this stuff and you want more of this type of stuff in Fleet Viewer, give the channel a follow. This is where you can come to hear me talk about it. Donate to our Patreon so that I can put that money back towards the people that work on Fleet Viewer and just the rendering costs and all that good stuff as well. But we do have a lot of cool stuff we're working on that I'm really excited about. So yeah, the detail on this is really cool. Here's the medical area on the Idris. Thank you, Triple. You can give VMXEO a thank you on that, Triple. I believe VMXEO is in chat. He did this render. He's the cutaway master. So, Salty Dog says, maybe this exists already and I don't know how to add. Can the Fleet View add current loaners based off hangar items? No, it doesn't do that. the way it works is it pulls the SKUs you own, but doesn't pull any loaners. We've been asked about that before. I don't know why we don't. There's probably a technical limitation or a time limitation. Again, Starlet has only so many hours, you know, she can work to keep this up as well. Again, Starjump Fleet Viewer, we get nothing from this. We're not allowed to charge for it. We're not allowed to make money off of it in any way. I have talked to CIG's lawyers about this, and we are 100% not allowed to benefit financially from Fleet Viewer. So the work that we have to put in to create this stuff really has to come in from like donations just through our Patreon and or other means. You know, I've had people before, you know, offer up things as well. So it's difficult, and our Patreon has just steadily declined, to be quite honest with you. And no fault to anyone. We just haven't been putting out a lot of content, but there has been a lot of Starjump stuff going on behind the scenes. Again, we constantly keep Fleet Viewer up and updated. So there's a lot of work that goes on. And again, I'm just very appreciative of Starlet, who's in chat, VMXEO in chat, the incredible amount of work they do for Starjump Fleet Viewer. I just can't thank them enough. When I had the idea originally a couple years ago, I was like, I don't see how I could ever get this off the ground. But those two made it a reality. Without them, there would be no Starjump Fleet Viewer. And then I don't want to forget, obviously, Starjump Ender, who Disabled Guru, thank you for sending Javelin over. Thank you for that follow. I really appreciate it. Starjump Ender, who is a longtime friend of mine. We've been friends for 25 years now. Manages the Starjump community, the Discord, keeps everything on lockdown. He can be kind of strict and stern when it comes to some of that stuff, but he does an incredible amount of work keeping it all together, keeping it manageable. He's a great hype man, and one of the greatest things Ender does is when you're having a bad day, things just aren't going right, you can go to him and he's going to make sure that he gets you back on the right path mentally. He's just a great guy. So Disabled Guru just rated the channel with 62 viewers. Disabled, thank you. I'm giving you 2 big giant salutes. Hello to your community. Disabled, I hope you had a great stream. Thank you for coming over and rating my channel. I will definitely repay the favor. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Anyone following from that community, thank you so much for the follows. I really appreciate it. For those that don't know me, I am Starjump Grim. I am one part of Starjump. I'm going to put some of our channels down here. We got our YouTube, which you need to subscribe to us there. Go follow us on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Make sure you follow my Twitch channel here if you would, please. We also have, if you want to donate to our Patreon, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. None of our stuff is locked behind paywalls, but sometimes Patreon members do get early access to stuff. The first of those will be the Starjump Shipyard episode on the Banu Merchantman later this week. So, and if I didn't show that already, I will show that real quick. Stand by, everybody. And again, thank you for that raid, Disabled. I hope you were well. I hope you had a great stream. What was I going to show you? Oh, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Shipyard is a show where I deep dive ships. I've done the Kraken, I've done the Endeavor, I've done the Crucible. I do all kinds of new visuals for them. And the Merchantman is my next one. And I do all kinds of unique renders and stuff like that. I'll show some of those now. For those of you that are Banu Merchantman fans. Oops, that's not one. Stand by. Where's the right one? Here it goes. So I do all types of new renders of the ships so that you can see these ships you love in completely new ways, totally built out. I'll do entire animated scenes with them. So one of the scenes I showed last time was, I'll play some of these for you. You know, again, all these will be in indie episode. I've got probably 4 to 5 minutes of new rendered stuff for the Banu Merchantman that I think you'll all really, really enjoy. Oops, that's the wrong one too. What am I doing? Yeah, so I think you'll enjoy it. I'm looking to release that episode later this week. It's taken a long time to put it together, but I deep dive the Merchantman like no one else has done. So I promise you it'll be in depth. Thank you so much, Liz and Ari. Hopefully I said that right. I'm terrible with names. Thank you for sending the Javelin over. Thank you for that follow. I really appreciate it. So yes, more stuff coming to Fleet Viewer. What were we looking at before we went to the cutaways? Oh yes, so I think Starlet said that she has... so this is my hangar, a lot of stuff, crazy amount of stuff. I think Starlet said she has it working to where when you go into Fleet Viewer though, which I can add all my hangar ships. Yep, it's working now. So there you go. It brought over my F7C Mark II. So that transfer should be working. Starlet, if you're listening, thank you so much for getting that working. I had a few people report that to me and just wanted to make sure we tried to take care of it. Yeah, Rigsy, I'm sorry. I've been juggling a couple things. I've been juggling a new puppy and a kid who's in so many extracurricular activities. It's been hard to manage. So I appreciate your patience. But it is definitely it's definitely coming. Definitely coming. Let's see here. It's actually completely done. I'm just doing QC checks on it right now. Cool. Thank you, Starlet. So yes, like I said before, we Starjump is a group of people that all have sort of a similar goal in that they want to see unique Star Citizen content out there, stuff that's a little bit different. For example, you'll never really see Starjump just put out the weekly Star Citizen news like regurgitated from CIG. There's no issues with that. You just won't see us do it because there's already people that do it and do it well. What you'll see from us is hopefully unique content you've never seen before, or content you maybe seen before, but we do something with it that's uniquely Starjump, right? So with the shipyard episodes, for example, I do a lot of new renders. Usually it's a few $100s worth of renders for new shots to better show off the ships and what they're all about. For fleet builders in the past, we have done we've used Starjump Fleet Viewer to kind of do what if scenarios with fleet building. Obviously, Starjump Fleet Viewer is a major project of ours. We wanted to let you show your fleets in ways that people hadn't been able to do up to that point in a really high fidelity. There's other projects in the works. Those of you that have heard me mention the words Fleet Command will know that that's something that's a pet project that's currently stalled, but I have high hopes for it in the future. I don't exactly know when it will come to fruition. There's some technical things that I'm trying to figure out before I move it into real production, but I'm always thinking that's the main part of it. VMXCO, while this is not a Starjump thing, he worked with his own group called Starfab. They created Starfab, the application. Starlet has always created amazing stuff. Starlet created HangarLink, which if you've never used HangarLink, you really need to go over there and do it. It's really amazing what she did over there. And then Ender and his approach to just community management and working with me, helping me with future projects, fleet builders, Starjump Station, which was our discussion show. You can kind of see a pattern there that we all want to do something a little bit different. Oh, another thing Ender does is he really focuses on our charity endeavors. He does it all, actually. He's the only person that does it, and we salute him for that. He's obviously a veteran. And has dealt with cancer and stuff himself. So he runs a lot of our charity endeavors. If you haven't given Ender a follow, please go do that. Here's his Twitch as well. But, so we all try to approach things in a unique way and try to do something unique for the Star Citizen community. And it's always a struggle, but we have a great group of people within Starjump, and I cannot thank them enough. So again, kind of a quick stream tonight. I just wanted to reconnect with everyone, make sure that you were all doing well. Like I said, I am planning that Starjump Station episode. I want to have that with Ender, VMXEO, and Starlet. And I want us to talk about Star Citizen 1.0 and what that could possibly be, what they'll need within that to sort of have something that is a true-to-life shippable product. All right, so that being said, stand by, everyone. We are going to... I want you to help me with some Star Citizen love and some Starjump love. And we're going to send it over. Let's see here. Bear with me. Bear with me. We are going to send it over to... Real quick here. Let me find it. I lost it already. Let's see. We're going... Okay, I think we have our raid target here. Going to send it over that way. Again, hope everyone stays well, stays safe, has a good rest of your week. I am going to raid following channel here. Why is this doing this? Stand by, everyone. Okay. We're going to raid Saber Fox RP, give them some Starjump love. Don't know much about them, but hopefully they are good. And just give them a little bit of that Starjump love. Let's spread the good vibes here. Those of you, I'll get back to you when that Starjump Station episode will occur. I don't know when it will be, but we'll try to get that going since the Star Citizen 1.0 dialogue is currently in the zeitgeist and happening. For those of you on YouTube, thanks for joining as well. Those of you on Twitch, thanks for hanging out. Stay safe, stay good. I'm going to go ahead and raid now and send you over there. Make sure to say hello to Saber Fox RP. Thanks, everyone.